very much. So we are now going to start with the main learnings, but selection of the main learnings. But before into this, I would like to take my hats off to those who work in fragile states, where you work with the states where people are in conflict situation, and it's overwhelming when I learn that situations are so extreme. We read the papers, but never felt it was that bad. And the environment we work, we cannot complain, and we have to work hard. So that's my learning, so personal. But now let's look at our group learning. It's the selection, as we told you. First of all, we thought that you will all agree that trust-building measures are very important, especially when we are working in conflict and fragile states with conflict. For example, in Mali, what they do in order to build trust, they do regional consultations. And you may all relate to various approaches and the ways how trust building in all the levels are being done, and it's one of the important things. We also learned that we all need to be aware of the regional geopolitical dynamics, and that is important because the conflicts not only restricted within the territorial boundaries, they spread and there may be exported, imported as well. When it comes to entry points, there were two learnings from two different groups saying that try to be non-political. One of the ways to do is more based on civic participation, do the policy support or identification, whereas another group said that focusing on improvement to access to basic public services could be a good starting point to improve the good governance. In that case, you may have a common ground and not avoid directly addressing the sensitive issues with the government or with militarized authorities you're working with. There were lots of questions about Switzerland. What's the role of Switzerland and why are we in very fragile, serious states? But we all acknowledge that Switzerland is seen as neutral state and also respected to be unbiased, respected to be the one who stays behind with communities, supporting them in hard times and adds values and really plays a solid role. So I think that was a good inspiration for those who still, who are working in fragile states. Very interesting learning from Ukraine Swiss Cooperation Agency. When you are working with these conflict situations, you yourself also, I guess, need to go through various reflections and transformation processes. Not everything is black and white, and we have to accept that. So these were the key learnings. And there are many more we'll receive later in documentation.